Hello, today we are going to be graphing y equals mx plus b, also known as slope-intercept form. We're going to review this because we're going to need this form to graph in this unit. And it's been quite a while since we've graphed. So remember our form y equals mx plus b. M is our slope and b is our y-intercept, or where we begin our graph, and m is how we move, rise over run. So they give us an example here, y equals 1/3 x plus 1. So they begin at plus 1 on our y-axis, that's why it's called a y-intercept. And then use your slope to create the line. Rise over run, rise 1, run 3. And we could have done that again, rise 1, run 3, to create our line. So we're just going to quick identify m and b, slope and y-intercept, in these equations. If it helps you to write y equals mx plus b above it or below it, go ahead and do so. So here our slope is 3, but as a fraction that would be 3 over 1. And our y-intercept b is 4. That's where we would begin our graph, up 4, because it's up plus 4. This next one, in the form y equals mx plus b, m, or our slope, is negative 1/4. I always put the negative with the number on top so I know if I'm going up or down right away. Really doesn't matter, but I just put it on the top. And then we begin this graph at a positive 3. Next, this one is not solved for y. It's not in the form y equals mx plus b. It says y plus 3x. So we need to solve this one. So I'm going to subtract 3x over to the other side because I needed to get y by itself, moving this piece over. So 3 minus 3 is 0, so we have y equals, we can't make this a negative 1x because we can't combine an x with just a number. So we just write our x's first, negative 3x, and then plus 2. So now it's in the form y equals mx plus b, so our slope is negative 3 as a fraction over 1, and we would begin at a positive 2. This last one is in the form y equals mx plus b. We're just beginning at the origin, 0, 0. And then our slope is negative 5 as a fraction, negative 5 over 1. Now we're going to graph some equations. It says graph a line that has a y-intercept of negative 1 and a slope of 2/3. I'm going to write this in the form y equals mx plus b as well. So m, our slope, is 2/3, so 2/3 x, and our y-intercept is negative 1, so it's minus 1. So we're beginning at negative 1. So negative 1 on our y-axis, right here. And our slope is rise over run, rise 2 from that point, and over 3. Not from the middle, from the first point we plotted. Then again, rise 2, run 3. And then going the opposite direction, instead of up and right, we can go down 2 and 3 to the left. Down 2, 3 to the left. And then you can draw your line through. Try to make your graph go all the way to both sides. Alright, next, our equation in the form y equals mx plus b, our slope is negative 2x plus b, our y-intercept is 4. So as a fraction, this is really negative 2 over 1. So let's graph this, beginning at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then our slope is negative 2 over 1, so negative 2 is down 2. And then positive 1 is to the right. Down 2, 1 to the right, down 2, 1 to the right. If that's confusing for you, positive numbers are to the right, if you think about numbering our x and y axes here. Instead of down and right, we can also go up 2 and 1 to the left. So there is our equation. Flip over to the back side. I would like you to try these two on your own, and then click play to see if you got them correct. First one, the form or the equation is y equals 3/5 x plus 6. The second one is y equals negative 1/3 x plus 0, or just y equals negative 1/3 x. We don't really need the plus 0. It just tells us where we begin. I'm going to go back over here to graph this one, beginning at 6. Our slope is rise 3, run 5, but we can't go up and right, so we have to go down 3 and 5 to the left. Those are the only 2 points we can plot to make our line. In the next one, we're beginning at 0, and our slope is -1 over 3, down 1, 3 to the right. Or we can go up 1 and 3 to the left as well. There is our equation. Not last slide, we have one or two left. So it says identify the slope and y-intercept of the line whose graph is shown. So here we have our graph. First thing I like to do is find where we begin on our y-axis. So we're beginning at -1, -2, -3, and then use any 2 points to find your slope. I'm going to pick these 2 over here, and I'm going to count rise 2 and run 1, 2, 3. So our slope is 2 over 3. If you use 2 different points, you will still get the same slope. Next, looking at our y-axis to where we begin. We're beginning at +1, +2, and our slope, rise over run, we're really going down -1, -2, -3, -4, and over just 1. Now if you started on the other side and went rise 4, going to the left, negative numbers are moving to the left. So you will still get the same answer. It just doesn't really matter where the negative is. I just always start on the left side, and then I know plus or minus right away, going up or down. Number 5, find the slope of the line who passes through the points. This is our slope formula, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So remember, we label our points in alphabetical order. Our first point gets 1s, our second point gets 2s. And then we plug them in. y2, first number right here, is -5, minus y1, and y1 is -7. Those 2 negatives, opposite of a negative is a positive. Then in the bottom, x2 minus x1, -3 minus a -2. Again, those make a positive. So our slope, -5 plus 7, there's more positives, 2 positives. -3 plus 2, there's 1 more negative. So you can leave it like this, otherwise that's just -2 if we simplify. Next problem, here's x and y our first point, x and y our second point, and plug them into our equation. y2 minus y1 is 4 minus 4. On the bottom, -3 minus 0. Well, 4 minus 4 is 0. -3 minus 0 is still -3. But 0 divided by anything is 0. So if we were to plot these, they would make a horizontal line. Alright, I'm going to label my points. And I would like you to try these last 2 on your own. y2 minus y1, we have -4 minus a -2. That makes a positive. Then on the bottom, 5 minus a -5, again making a positive, opposite of a negative there. So we have -2 over 10, which is good, but we could simplify that to -1/5 if we divide by 2. Last question, first point, second point, 4 minus 0, and then -1 minus -8, making a positive. We should have gotten 4/7 if you simplify that. You will need to remember how to find slope using 2 points instead of graphing it. Alright, here's your homework. If you do finish in class, try letter Y7 on iExcel. This is an 8th grade